Spoiler alert, the following video discusses content from the movie Annabelle. This includes the ending and other important scenes. Recommend watching the movie before this review to minimize any loss of content. Disclaimer, we do not own the pictures, themes, or characters in this video. They are used for entertainment and criticism and reserved by the respective companies. Thank you and enjoy. Warning, this video contains images of graphic violence. This movie is also supposed to be based on true events. If we have messed up any information from the original story, we do apologize. Hope it does not deter you from the actual video.
What's with the sandwich?
Oh, don't touch that.
Why? Why is it in a glass case?
Oh, because you see, that's not just any ordinary sandwich. It's the last sandwich of Hamadulu. They say that if whoever eats this sandwich will go insane.
Huh. It looks tasty.
It does. But remember, whoever eats this will go insane.
Okay.
Hello, and I'm Scarifo. Welcome back to Horror Harvest. And this is the final week of Doll Month. I know it wasn't exactly a month, but today we are doing the true, well, it's supposedly a true story, actually, but it is Annabelle, which actually, we did an actual sort of
based on a true story.
Based on a true story. But, anyways, I'm gonna let you take it away for a little bit because, yes.
I think we should begin, of course, in the opening. It starts off with, were they around a campfire, was it? Or, well, just a group of people talking about the original story. You know, the actual event that happened, passing around tales, blah, blah, blah. From there, it kind of moves into the family whom this centers around, who are having a baby soon. So, a pregnant mother and a father, whom I believe is a doctor of some sort.
Yeah, they don't go into detail of, like, what kind of doctor he is, but, they do start off, not really on fire, but they start talking about, they give backstory on the story itself. For those who don't know much about the actual Annabelle story, apparently this, mother buys her daughter a Raggedy Ann doll, because originally it's a Raggedy Ann doll. They just made it more creepy.
In this, they made it a ceramic doll.
Yeah. But, his mother bought her a, sort of Raggedy Ann doll from a hobby store, which doesn't really do anything much, but then, you know, it starts its arm remove, like, position, or its head will move, and then it starts moving around the room.
This is the classic story.
The classic original story.
It started with little movements, and then it started, like, being found in different parts of the house, and then I believe that's when papers started showing up with, like, little notes written on them.
When they don't even have parchment in the house?
Yeah, because it was parchment paper, not like printing paper. There was just random parchment paper on the house coming from nowhere. From there, she starts bleeding, and hilarity ensues. No, actually, terror ensues. Terror.
Yeah, and then things are happening. Like a priest apparently, like from my story, what I read, the priest makes fun, like saying, like, "Oh, this can't be happening. It's just a doll." He crashes his car, but still survives. Anyways, to this day, that same Raggedy Ann doll is apparently still in a glass case. I think on the Warren Register or in some museum somewhere. Not entirely sure where, but
yeah, I thought it was still at the original residence.
I think it is.
Yeah, didn't they open up a small thing there or something? I can't quite remember, but I'm not going to just so that no one complains. No, you got this wrong, whatever. But all in all, carrying on from there, it's following the actual family, and the husband gets the wife a doll.
Yeah. And the thing was, it's like, this is not just like a random, oh, hey, a doll. She's like a collector of dolls. She has a bunch of them all over her shelves, her room.
The ceramic special dolls, you know, the kind that people collected.
Yeah. And this was actually a special model that she's been looking for, and probably for, like, you know, a gift from her baby, or probably, like, for newlyweds, he got her on this one she was looking for, which happened to be, well, they never exactly call her Annabelle, but
I have to say that, especially around the scenes with the doll, they do a great job of setting the tone. Great job.
Exactly.
It's just really suspenseful, really holds you, and then on those rare occasions where something does happen, it actually strikes you because it's just been, like, building you up for a while.
And it also does a lot of, like, teases. Like, it's like, for instance, like, goes entrance.
I have to say that throughout this, I have to say, because we were talking about the original story, it holds true to it actually very well.
Yes, it does.
There are some small things, but still, like, they believe that it was the spirit of a girl. In this one, it was the spirit of, not a spirit, but a demon who was doing it. So in the movie, it kind of broke off of that a bit.
Yeah, the story I read was starting to think it was more of a demon, but because, they was talking about how poltergeist, if you watched our poltergeist review, it explains a poltergeist attaches itself to objects for a person, but not an actual person itself. That's more of a demon thing. That's why they thought.
No, I thought demons attached to objects and a poltergeist attached to people, and the poltergeist in the movie was attached to the daughter.
Oh, that's right. But I mean, what it is, it's
So this would be a normal demon.
yes, this would be still.
Okay.
But I mean, still, like the thing is you're still seeing apparitions of what we think is Annabelle Higgins. So that's what makes you think: is it a demon or is it this girl's spirit coming back to wreak revenge or something?
Noting that, first of all, there was some build up with her sewing, and you'd think she's gonna prick her finger or something, and she doesn't. But it's just like it builds you up and just leaves you hanging. But then I guess that the biggest plot point after that is the actual Annabelle Higgins
Yes.
shows up. Some people who were followers of Manson, being Annabelle and this other guy, like their estranged daughter, I think it was, or something.
No. Annabelle, apparently in this movie, it's Annabelle and her boyfriend.
Her boyfriend.
And they never exactly
I
say
don't think their
Manson
relationship
themselves.
is too important, though.
It's not, but I think that actually not Manson, but like a satanic cult group or something. Anyways, they go to the next door house and they murder the woman there, and then they come after. I think her name was Mia, which my eyes on the bed. It was Mia and John, and then try to stab her because newborn child, like innocent. But
yeah,
anyways,
one time in the beginning of the movie, he screamed Mia, and I thought that he was just screaming random sounds, screaming Mia, but
I don't think it works.
I'd like to say, in the beginning, they use news reports to subtly hint you off that something's going to happen, but leaving you enough in the dark that it actually still is really creepy and scary when it does happen. But you can piece it together. Exactly what I was saying Chucky should have done.
Exactly.
And really, it was done wonderfully in this, added a great amount of tension, and I'm very happy with it.
Yeah, like, you don't have to, for instance, we analyzed this for the fun of it, so we caught on to it pretty quick, but you see a news report about the Manson murders, and people like,
A large cultic uprising.
Exactly. And so that gives foreshadowing to, they're gonna get attacked by a cult, and that's ensues the whole demon worshiping
And
thing.
even if you don't put it together, it has a quick scene that explains all of it afterwards. It's very nice.
They were members of a cult. We've confirmed that it was Higgins' daughter and her boyfriend. You may have heard on the news
that cults are taking over the world.
well, it's not quite as prevalent as they'd have you believe.
You're gonna have a hard time convincing us of that. Were they satanic?
It's okay. She should know.
Yes. Yes, it is believed that they had interest in the occult. That they did this to prove their devotion of sort of violence for violence sake.
That's crazy.
So, overall it is nice, but now let's get on to the actual Annabelle, the doll itself, seeing how we've gave a little brief of like the story.
Apparently, Annabelle, the person, dies, and
In the movie, she committed suicide.
yeah, she committed suicide. She slit her throat open, I believe it was, and
Yes.
the blood from that dripped onto the doll, giving it life. But the thing is, in the movie, the priest says that the doll is inhabited by a demon who has never known flesh, meaning that this isn't Annabelle's soul, and they never named the doll Annabelle. So once she dies, Annabelle
Who
has
is it?
nothing to do with this. The movie's called Annabelle, but it has nothing to do with Annabelle after she dies. So,
Like, as I said, you see apparitions of Annabelle Higgins, but it's like,
yeah, but if it's a demon, then it's just exactly that, an apparition, a form taken, possibly the form taken of the one who had summoned her, which would be Annabelle, with the whole dying and the blood on the doll. But the doll seems to be less of a puppet by the demon, or even a thing for a living thing of its own. What it seems to be is the doll seems to be more of
patsy.
yeah, kind of like a relic. Something that's anchoring the demon to this world. That's what it appears to be to me.
Yeah.
Carrying through the story, I mean, the story is kind of slow in all reality. Any other major plot points going through you want to mention? I suppose.
I'm gonna say, speaking of, there's actually two other characters which do end up being big. There's Father Perez, which is their pastor for the church. He comes in and says, you know, talking about like how the attack would make them stronger and stuff, and actually consoles them later on about demons and how, you know, they're after like the soul of the baby. And then there's another woman actually who I think her name was Evelyn. She was
Something like that.
you know, she was I think like a librarian or something like that, but she had a daughter who died in a car accident, and then she became suicidal, which she tried to take her life, but apparently she hears her baby's voice, and it says it's not her time, and she has a better purpose in life. So she looks into like some of this. Apparently, she started looking into this cult stuff, and she also gives like explanation about Mia's situation with this demon.
Yes. After introducing them, it's more or less just dealing with the demon and the random scares and stuff. Things are getting more and more intense as the demon is, as the pastor said, trying to take the baby's soul. Apparently, the demon and all demons in this ideal is that they are servants of the devil, but they need to have you offer up a soul. They cannot just take your soul. But no one plans to offer their soul. They have ways of tricking you.
Exactly. Like, going on tricking, they start tricking Mia because this is actually, I know this is a bit early to talk about the scene, but actually, they, it uses Annabelle in a way which actually, it didn't go the way we thought, but it makes you think this, and it was just horrible. It was lovely. What happens is the scene where
she finds the doll in the baby's crib, and realizing that her baby was not there, she takes it up and starts slamming the doll's head against the railing of the crib. And you think, like, after she throws the doll away, oh crap, that was the baby. She killed the baby. That's how they got her to offer up the soul.
Because you see,
that I think is where it should have ended. It should have ended, and they tricked her into killing the baby, giving its soul up. That would have been great.
Yeah,
but they didn't.
Because, as I said, because what you see is like two legs and what looks like a, not really diaper, but like, you know, like a little girl's sort of like like a onesie sort of thing. And you think, again, the baby turns out to be another one of her ceramic dolls that's laughing at her. So another tricked by the demon. It's like,
you should have just had her kill the baby. That would have been a great, horrifying, creepy end that would leave on such a sour note that it would be unsettling to the audience. It would have been perfect, all in all. Going on with that, she ends up trying to kill herself because she believes killing herself will save the soul of her baby, but then instead the woman from the library decides to kill herself, deciding that was the greater meaning meant. Therefore, she appeases the demon, and that helps to, you know... She
has to die to help the other family live with the baby.
I could see it basically as she has a baby to raise, therefore she has more value in this world, but still, if that was part of God's higher plan for her, it seems kind of twisted that she decided, hey, you should die so this other person doesn't have to die.
That is messed up when you think about it. It's like, oh yeah, you know what, she has a baby, your baby's dead, so you can die. It's like...
All in all, it's rather weird.
Since this is the end of Doll Month, if we're wrapping up...
that was basically how the movie ended. There was like this scene going afterwards of showing them like 6 months later, but that doesn't really have much to do with anything.
Yeah, I know.
There is something I'd like to say about the whole building suspense thing. Through the whole thing, they keep doing that thing with the sewing machine, and then finally, at a certain point, she pricks her finger, and it is the most satisfying thing. Unlike like most jump scares where it scares you and it's satisfying, this didn't even scare you. It was just so satisfying because they did so good at building the tension. It was amazing.
There was the TV with the guy fighting with the woman, and the woman's trying to get out. She's watching it. Her eyes are off as she's sewing machine, and just looks at the sewing machine and looks to the popcorn,
and it's showing her fingers getting closer and closer to the sewing machine.
And then the popcorn's popping, getting bigger. Looks like it's gonna pop, and
it's just like... they show the scene a couple times before it actually snips her. It's like, finally. Okay, I think that's it. I think that's I, all in all, would greatly recommend this movie to someone who
Yes.
enjoys suspenseful horror. But
Overall, like, the actual scares of it is not that big of a thing.
it's not too big on scares, and it can be a little disappointing, especially with the story and how slowly it goes. But it takes that time well in how it builds it up. So if you like an environmental horror that'll like slowly build you up and add tension, like a suspenseful horror, then this is the thing for you, definitely.
Yeah, it's also also more emotionally as well, because like you kind of like grow attached.
Would have been a lot more emotional if the baby got
guy
killed, you know?
Yes, because then it's just like, oh, but no, the baby's perfectly fine.
In
He
fact,
shows back
it
up.
ended on a happy ending, which makes this, by definition, a comedy.
Yeah.
Happy ending comedy, bad ending drama. That's why the two faces, sad and happy, the two sides. All in all,
But anyways, it does actually. I think it's more like a prequel because in the end they show going to the hobby store where a mother buys the Annabelle doll. So I'm thinking this is like a bit of a prequel to the actual story. But
all in all, hopefully you'd watched it beforehand. We usually say you probably should. But all in all, if you haven't, and we haven't ruined too much, which I don't think we have because the way it sets the tone, even if you know what's going to happen,
It's still
wonderful.
it still
I'd
just immerses
recommend
you
it.
in it.
I'd recommend it. I guess that's it, and...
Oh wait, actually there was one thing. Since this is the last video for Possessed Doll Month, I would like to do a quick comparison of all 4 movies we watched. Like in Chucky, we have Chucky.
This one's gonna be a bit longer, isn't it?
Yes, unless would you like.
No, we can do this.
Alright. So what happens is with Chucky, the way that he's possessed is with voodoo, and the purpose is to get revenge on the people who
It
fucked him
was
over in life.
transferring a soul into a doll.
Exactly. For
It-
Puppet Master,
It was creating souls for a
for
doll.
dolls, giving people life, that they wanted, but was taken away from them through an Egyptian rite, and their purpose was basically whatever the Master who brought them back's purpose was.
I don't think they explained that in the first movie.
Yeah, but like too long. I gathered that because too long.
But the basis for just the first movie to simply enough say giving life through an Egyptian art.
Yes. Through demonic toys, they were like tools for the demon to get the soul of the baby that he wanted, instead of except for once again Baby Oops Daisy. Baby Oops Daisy seems to be a bit on her own.
Yeah, so it's entirely possible they all have their own souls, or maybe they're all just puppets. All in all, it could go either way.
And finally, for Annabelle, it's supposed to be a true story, which is one's like sort of
With
like
the possession of a spirit, but it turns out that it is a demon,
and it's
that
more of a
that is more just using it as an anchor to the world.
yeah. Instead of using it as a tool or anything, it's more of just like keeping
And
itself
sure,
bound to the ground.
It has
bound to
some
the
jump
ground.
scares, like this one point where it drops in front of the doorway, like she's looking under the crack in the door, and it drops right there, scary as all hell. But
Yeah.
all in all,
Great movie.
other than that, the doll isn't used much. It's mostly just apparitions and such.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this Possessed Doll Month, and if there's any other like dog-themed movies that you like that we haven't reviewed, please send them our way. We want to keep this specifically to a month, but if you like this video, leave a comment
If we
section
find a
below.
good movie, we'll review it. End of story.
Precisely. So until next time, catch you later.